Hello, dear friends. I am Yuri Ivanov, academician of the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, Doctor of Science in Physics and Applied Mechanics. I must say a few words about the project. Where would I like to start? I would like to start by saying that this project is actually a venture, since for the first time we aimed at such technical devices and solutions that had not existed up to this point. I would like to start with the question of the purpose of science as such, that is, why fundamental science is needed. The answer to this question also determines what we have set out to do for ourselves. Well, first of all, fundamental science is designed to search for knowledge that can ensure human survival under any circumstances in space, even if the planet Earth is lost. In order to survive in space, energy sources and spacecraft that do not use traditional fuel are needed. This is one of the provisions that we intend to implement in our projects. Yes, I would like to say that there are practically no specialists in this field who are able to understand the approaches that we take. Therefore, this means that there is no one to evaluate our work. But anyway, we have specific experiments that directly indicate that we are on the right track and that solving these problems, that is, in particular, propulsion in space in a non-rocket way, that is, in a way that does not need to expel the mass carrier. This can be done quite realistically already on the basis of the knowledge and materials that humanity has accumulated in science. The second project is more mundane. It's non-satellite navigation. That is, such a way to determine the coordinates of our location on planet Earth, which does not need GPS satellites or any other reference devices. In particular, we assume that the devices that we are developing can determine their coordinates underwater, underground, basically anywhere. This is a very interesting problem because if, for example, all the satellites fail, well, for example, there will be some serious solar flare or some kind of technological disaster. In this case, if all this fails, then we will, especially the military, they will be blind. That is, a submarine located at a depth of 1 kilometer, it will not be able to determine where it is in the world's oceans. Hence the problems. I think that this problem can be solved quite successfully by us. The only thing I would like to say is that all these projects are venture projects for the reason that there is no final engineering solution yet. We are just got to the point that it can be done. But how it will look operationally in the near future is a difficult question. Well, In short, I'm done. All other questions can be asked to my assistants, and they are quite ready to answer them. I'm done. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Maxim Brunevsky, an engineer and one of the co-founders of the Nanotechnology Research Center. I will talk about what has already been done and what needs to be done to create the first navigation device that functions without any auxiliary devices, such as GPS, satellite systems, or mobile networks. So, what have we already done? In fact, our team continues the experimental work that was started back in the 19th century by the American physicist Albert Michelson, and then continued by the American physicist Dayton Clarence Miller and other followers of the ether theory in the 20th century.
Albert Michelson and Dayton Clarence Miller did excellent experimental work on registering the absolute velocity of motion in an ether wave medium. However, they did not get the result they expected, and moreover, new questions arose during the experiments, which indicated that the problem was not closed, and experimental work on registering motion in an ether wave medium should be continued. In 1981, the relay baton of Michelson and Miller's experimental work was intercepted by Russian physicist Yuri N. Ivanov, co-founder and chief scientific officer of the Nanotechnology Research Center. Michelson and Miller's research was thoroughly analyzed by him from the point of view of the wave geometry of optical processes. Then a package of works was carried out on geometric and computer modeling of the processes occurring in the interferometer, and a new physical phenomenon was predicted, which was called standing wave compression. Subsequently, this phenomenon was confirmed experimentally with acoustic waves. A new physical phenomenon made it possible to understand why Albert Michelson and Dayton Clarence Miller and other researchers did not get the expected results when trying to register motion in an ether wave medium using interferometric devices. In 2015-2017, Yuri and Ivanov and our team conducted a series of experiments with interferometers of a special design, taking into account the phenomenon of standing wave compression and the theoretical errors of Michelson, Miller, and other researchers, and obtained results that showed both the presence of an ether wave medium and the ability to register its own motion in this medium. As a result of the experiments, a research article was published in one of the leading Russian peer-reviewed journals, Innovations and Investments. A link to an article in the peer-reviewed scientific journal, Innovations and Investments, is posted below this video. During 2023, a new interferometer was created, which is a more advanced model and is free from disadvantages of interferometers of previous designs, as well as easy to use. Experiments that have been conducted since the end of 2023 to this day show that with the help of a new design device, we can clearly register our own motion in an ether wave medium and use this medium as the main reference point when determining our own location in space. That is, based on the new interferometric device, it is possible to create a completely autonomous navigation device of a new type without the need to use GPS satellite systems, mobile networks, and other auxiliary systems to determine our own location. Since the project is of a venture nature, so taking into account the theoretical and experimental work already carried out, The probability of creating a new, full-fledged navigation device is about 90%. Now let's talk about what needs to be done next. In order to conduct the first experiments at a higher quality level and get closer to the commercialization of new navigation devices, it is necessary to create a new, high quality experimental interferometric installations using new materials, the sensitivity of which will be reduced to the required level, and make careful adjustments to obtain clearer interferometric parameters. Careful setup and debugging of the installations will reduce interferometric noise and register the necessary interferometric signals, and then translate these signals using certain mathematical algorithms into a coordinate system along the XYZ axis. After that, it will be possible to calculate the location of the device in space, which will lead to the creation of the first navigation devices working on a new principle and ready for commercialization. Necessary investments in the project only $10 million US. We invite organizations and individuals interested in the implementation of fully autonomous navigation devices to cooperate.